I'm Ashleigh.
And I'm Brooke.
And you're here with us on A Teachers Who Talk Crime
Podcast.
I think I've been doing too much podcast stuff lately because my children literally go around the house saying, I'm Ashleigh and I'm Brooke all the time. All the
Which
time.
one's me? Which one's me? I wanna
It's
be
always
both of
Aria.
them.
She's both.
I love it.
And she'll be like, "Ti-ti-ti-ta-tan," and I'm like, oh girl, let's get those pronunciations.
But it was beautiful. You're a beautiful
You
princess.
did a great job,
Yeah.
sweetie. We're gonna work on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We have. I mean, I think we've just been recording a lot because we're just trying to stack our episodes.
Yeah.
And we launched YouTube and yeah. So
Speaking of YouTube, like those of you watching,
hey guys.
you're here now. You're here with us. It's crazy.
So cringy. Like watching on YouTube,
It's
I was
so
showing
crazy.
somebody at work and I was like, okay, don't watch my mouth at this point. It does something weird. And they were like, what? Like my mouth. I'm not going to point it out because then people on YouTube are going to notice.
Nah, because you did it with my fat knees. So go ahead.
I don't know. Like when I talk, like my mouth goes to the side and I know it and it just bothers me.
Well, Mama Trudy watched the Felicia episode. Those of you, if you ain't see her comment underneath the episode, that's my mom. So shout out to Mama Trudy.
Hey,
she
Trudy.
said her only critique was that I say 100% too much. So I'm actively trying to erase that from my vocabulary.
Okay.
So if you
I need critiques
hear me go
from her weekly.
So
I need critiques from
that,
Trudy.
Yeah, well, she said other than that, it was fantastic. So
so well, if she has anything for me,
I'll let her know. I mean, she
can send it
probably watching this. So
yeah. Hey, Trudy.
Yeah. Hey, girl.
Yeah.
So yeah, there will be less 100%ers from me.
Okay.
Yeah.
What do I say a lot? I don't know.
I don't think you have a thing. I think 100% just started like probably within the last month. I don't know where it came from, but it's just 100%, 100%, 100%. I don't.
100% what? Like apples.
Just like it's just
charging.
100%. It's just more so like
running.
I mean, I did that today. Did 4 miles today. I was very proud of myself. 4 miles.
Did your dog sleep?
He's knocked right now because I have 14,582 steps.
Ashleigh's dog has finally slept, y'all.
So for y'all who don't know, I have this dog that sits on my Apple Watch because they don't have a step goal on your Apple Watch. It's always like your move goal, your standing goal, and your exercise goal. But I'm like, I want to hit my step goal. So I was scrolling on TikTok as one does. And someone was like, ooh, I got this little dog, da-da-da-da.
How do you get a dog?
Oh, you download the app. Hold on, let me tell everybody. I'm gonna put y'all on.
Yeah, I want a dog. Can it be Ashton?
You could pick the type of dog you want. So I have Hendrix the Hound.
Okay.
Hendrix the Hound, because I like, things like that. It's called Step Dog.
So
looks
creative.
Like this. That one right there. I broke my nail. I'm so sorry. But it's that one in the middle, and then when you open him up, go ahead. There he goes. He's asleep. Look at him.
Look at Hendrix.
Look at him. Yeah, that's my baby Hendrix. Yeah.
He was getting real tired.
Child, he was sleep deprived.
Yep.
But he's been getting his sleep this week, so I'm happy for him.
Good.
We love that.
I bet you feel better too. Like just like getting, moving.
I do. Because I really just looked at myself the other day and I said, you're looking really pleasantly plump, girl. Like, it's not really like certain angles. I'd be like, oh gosh, like your face. Like, that's, I think I really noticed when I was recording that one marshmallow TikTok and like you can see my roll over my pants. I was like, you know what?
And we'll hit that step goal.
We gonna do some things. So we're getting back into it slowly but surely. But she's feeling good, feeling great. My body's probably gonna hurt.
I'm finding the plumpness as well. So, but I think I I don't know this to be true, but I think I'm blaming it on my PCOS and like trying different medications that my doctor is
Mm-mm.
giving me, things like that. And I don't know. I think the stress, so
Oh,
I'm just
stress is a big
trying to
piece.
figure it all out.
I mean, you're still CrossFitting, right?
Yeah, still CrossFit, still like hit my goal daily. Me and
Okay.
James are meal prepping, but
Okay.
like I think, which is so weird, and I was telling James that I just feel like
Mhm.
I have like a weird reaction to pharmaceuticals, and it's
Yeah.
always in the form of like very, very like noticeable weight gain or
Mm.
weight loss. And like, so they have me on metformin and it's for pre-diabetics and it's like an
Okay.
insulin blocker and all
Okay.
that. And it's supposed to actually make you lose weight. It's also
Okay.
supposed to make you have diarrhea. I've had
Ooh.
none of that.
Oh, well, that's great. I love that for you. I thought you was gonna say you had the diarrhea part. I was like, damn, you
No,
want to tell these
never
people
had
that?
that. No, never had that. And I'm not losing weight, I'm gaining weight. So I'm like,
Okay.
maybe like my body was like, you thought.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
I
don't
mean, you
know.
know
So
for
we're
a fact
just
you're gaining weight, or are you just noticing like clothes fitting differently or things like that?
so I don't really get on a scale, but I think I'm
Facts.
noticing my clothes are fitting differently and
Okay.
like things are just not as toned. They're
Yeah.
a little bit more doop, doop, a little flabby, you know, a little bloop bloop.
That little bloop bloop.
Um, yeah. So, yeah. I mean, and I like can tell in certain angles and stuff, but
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna go back to the doctor this month and we're gonna kind of run through how we liked metformin. If we didn't, do we want to try something else? And I'm gonna just tell her like, unless I'm growing a baby, I don't want to be gaining no weight.
Yeah, I feel that 100%.
You know,
Well, girl,
like
I haven't noticed your games. I haven't noticed them. I think you still
oh,
look beautiful. So
thanks. As
you're
Whitney
welcome.
says, a beautiful princess.
100%. You still a beautiful princess, girl. 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Hmm.
that's kind of everything, really.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
I almost said what I was not supposed to say, and I
Ah,
just went into the
right.
okay. So now she's gonna be like,
You
"You
did
saying
good.
okay too much." So I'm just gonna try my best.
Okay.
I'm just
Well,
gonna
we can
try my
just jump right
best.
into what's not going to make you say either of those things. So we can jump into
Yeah.
our
Estudiante estrella.
who you got for us,
Um,
Ashley?
I've got now here's the thing. I feel like we've done this one before, but it's not on our tracker. I think it's before we started tracking.
Okay.
So we're gonna give her flowers again because why not? This is what we do on Teachers Talk Crime.
Exactly.
And we also haven't had a review since like I think August.
We could also start using TikTok. YouTube reviews.
Oh,
So if you're
okay.
new here, welcome. Subscribe to our channel.
Oh my god.
Hi,
Like,
I'm Brooke.
subscribe, share.
Yeah, like, subscribe, share. I'm Brooke. This is Ashley over here,
Hey.
or she might be over here. I don't know where we're gonna be.
I'm somewhere here, but
Somewhere.
you
Yeah. So, um, yeah, we do a star student every week,
Mhm.
and that's
Every
people
week.
that leave us reviews,
Mhm.
and you get a little special jingle, and you get a shout out, and you get to be
Mhm.
posted on our Instagram story. And it's just a
Yeah.
fun thing we do.
We do it. So you can either, if you're listening on Apple Podcasts, leave us a review there. If you're listening on YouTube, feel free to drop a comment a comment on one of our videos. If you're listening on Spotify, I believe I don't know what it looks like on your end, but there is like a Q&A type thing, or you can respond. Every episode we post automatically asks how you like the episode, and you can
Mhm.
respond on there. So you can leave a review on there. Just title everything Star Student so we are aware, unless it's coming on Apple Podcasts, because clearly it's coming in the review
Yeah.
section. And then you might be a lucky Star Student. Estudiante
Yeah.
estrella.
Yeah.
So our Star Student this week is Fiesta Maiden. And their review is titled, "These Ladies Took Me to School."
Yes, we
That's good.
did.
Because we be taking these students to school. We sure do.
Mm. Well, we
Hmm.
try. Mm.
That's a story for another day.
Blank stares. We were both like, mm.
That's a story for another
Yeah.
day. 100%. But Fiesta Maiden said, "I love the way the crimes are presented, and the two hosts are so easy to listen to. I love the way the crimes are presented, and the two hosts are so easy to listen to. Bring on more lessons, and I'll keep showing up for class."
Yes. Take that attendance, girl. Bam.
I mean, I always forget.
I do too. I get emails every day.
I sure do. Unless I'm drinking from my water bottle and it says like take attendance, I'm like, oh. But
Yeah,
yeah,
well, I have to take attendance 7 times a day.
I hate that for you.
Yes, me too.
That sounds
Me too.
really chaotic.
Yes, it is. It
Yeah,
is.
I just got to do it in the morning by what is it,
Where's
9:30?
Ashleigh? Oh, I saw her down the hall, but I don't know where she's at. Okay, she must be tardy. And then I called the office. Oh, she checked out. Blah 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 blah.
That's chaotic. There has to be a better
Yeah.
system to let you know that kids are like not no longer there
Yeah.
and left for the day.
Hmm.
But
That sounds like a higher notch on the totem pole.
yeah, I just work for the school. I don't, you
Me
know.
too. I officially work for my school. Nothing over or beyond.
I know that's right. Cuz
Show
we get
in.
paid 3 cents an hour, so.
Yep. Yep.
But Fiesta Maiden, I thank you so much for your review. This gold stars for you. Bing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And before we were on YouTube, that's literally how that went every week. Like
Yeah.
me sing along, me dance along. Like this is what we did. We were just not as presentable before.
I feel like I still look like a homeless person, but it's fine. My braids are really old. They need to come out, but I don't feel like going back to being bald headed. So I'm gonna wait till I get paid so I go get these redone because I already know my kids have not seen me without my braids, so they're gonna be like, they're gonna be shocked. And I really don't feel like explaining that some people can get extensions or how you say weaves. I just don't feel like going through that
Yeah.
process. So I'm gonna just
I
be a
asked
little
one of the
crusty
girls
dusty.
at my school the other day, and I was like, "Can you braid?" And she was like, "Yeah." And I was like, "Well, I have extensions." I was like, "Can you braid those where it doesn't show?" You would have thought that I told the class I was an alien from outer. You have extensions? You've got weave in your hair? I was like, "Yeah, right
Mhm.
here." And they're like, "Oh
All
my
right, here.
god." They were like, when then, obviously the boys are then making fun of me. And the girls like see that like, we're girls, we're vibing in the girl lane because the
Mhm.
boys like to pick on the girls. I'm like, how are you gonna pick on them? Like I literally have fake hair and you didn't know.
100%.
And they're like, what?
Oh, I
What?
said it.
Yeah, you did.
Okay.
You said it
Sorry,
earlier
mom.
too.
I did.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, it's gonna be so hard. So hard.
Yeah. So they were really shocked to find out that I have fake hair.
Wow. Well, that's good
And
that
then
they
one
didn't
of my
know.
students who bullies me is like very ugly to me. She said, "Why do you tell people that? Like, why would you want them to know that? That's so stupid."
Because I don't really care
Yeah, because
what
you're a
y'all
child and
think.
I'm an adult.
I
Mm.
don't like 100% like. Whoa, did it again. Everything's fine.
Take a shot
Everything's
for
fine.
every time Ashley says that.
I'm not gonna make it through this episode. Then, if
Mm,
that was the case, I would already be under this table.
yeah.
100%.
Well,
Ooh!
did you see?
My mom is probably like, mm,
Mm. Did you see
everything's
where
fine.
the woman got sent to the hospital from the Chiefs game because she took a shot every time they panned the camera to Taylor Swift?
Why would you play a game like that? You know
I
they're
know.
gonna show that woman every chance they can get.
A million thousand times.
But I also have to say, the new look that's going with Travis Kelsey,
70s porn stash?
I am not a fan.
Yeah, me neither.
And that might be some people's cup of tea. That's fine. This is just my opinion, whatever. I'm not a fan.
It's not doing him very much justice.
Cause before that,
Oh,
he was
yeah.
fine.
Oh, yeah.
He was fine. And
I
now I
mean,
look at
and
him and I'm
facial hair
like,
on a man is just makeup for women.
yeah. See, I almost said it. You saw it, but I fixed it.
Mm.
Yeah. However, that right there, sir.
Mm-mm.
Mm-mm. And granted, do what you want to do, Travis Kelsey. If you ever watch this episode and happen to see this, I don't want your
Yeah.
feelings to be hurt because I feel like you're a very confident man. So what I say is not going to affect you anyway. So I feel like
Yeah.
you good.
Also, we have a friend we want to hook you up with if you ever aren't with Taylor Swift.
Yeah. If you ever just decide to break up with Taylor, we got a great contender here.
Yeah,
She's
we
a
do.
great person. She, is a
Mhm.
positivity princess. So
She is. Yeah.
And if that happens, I'm gonna apologize profusely for saying that I didn't find you attractive, with your
With
new
the
look,
stat, yeah. Mhm.
with the new look. But 100. But
Do you, boo.
yes. Mm,
Mhm.
yeah.
Yeah. And with that, let's get into some murder.
Oh,
So,
okay.
I was just like, I feel like it was a good palate cleanser because everybody's talking about Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift.
Yes.
So, like, now let's do another palate cleanser where now we talk about murder.
Okay. Let's do it.
Yeah. So, sit down, shut up. The murder is about to begin.
Ahora.
Today's case is about Terry King. Terry King, far from being perfect, let's get that very clear. He was not a perfect individual by any means, and we'll get into that, but rather a person of decency, love, diligence, and both respectfulness and respectability. He met a very tragic end at the age of 40 years old on November 26, 2001, when he fell victim to a brutal ambush and was fatally beaten while asleep in his home. The
Asleep?
perpetrators of asleep in his recliner. Yeah,
And a recliner is like a man's throne.
I know. It is. Yeah. The perpetrators of this heinous act being his own sons, Alex, 12 years old, and Derek King, 13 years old. Despite the extensive web of lies by Alex and Derek King, the case is a clear cut example of first degree murder. But were they convicted of that? The boys showed no remorse when committing their crimes and, in fact, continually deceived the authorities and fabricated stories about their father, the victim, for years. Both Alex and Derek made a multiple efforts to tarnish the memory of Terry King, their own father, after prematurely ending his life. The King brothers persisted in tarnishing their father's reputation, at times even falsely accusing he had mistreated them and abused them for years.
Mm.
It's very important to emphasize that Terry King never abused his young sons in any way whatsoever. Alex and Derek were not subjected to physical or emotional abuse. They concocted these lies and established a sympathetic motive for their heinous act. When this play failed, they resorted to another falsehood, alleging that Terry's friend and neighbor, Rick Chavez, had manipulated them into murdering their father.
How is a grown man gonna manipulate you to kill your dad?
Mm. This, this is a great case of like this frontal lobe is not developed.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Like it's not because like and we're gonna get into it, but you'll see. So, what was life like for Terry King, and what was the life like for boys growing up with Terry King? Well, Terry King resided in Florida, a suburb of Pensacola. Hey, hey, Florida. And had an on again, off again living arrangement with his two sons, Derek, 13, and Alex, 12. Terry faced many difficulties in maintaining steady employment throughout his life, often taking low paying odd jobs. And although people described him as a strict father, not abusive, just strict, he earnestly tried to be a responsible parent for his troubled boys. Terry's challenges in providing for his sons, ensuring their basic needs, and offering them a stable home were made harder when their absent mother and drug addict and nightclub dancer abandoned them. So the boy's mother had been with Terry since like 1985, maybe. So
Mm-hmm.
they were together. They had Alex and Derek together, and she was just not a great person. Mhm. It's also to be noted that while Terry was with the boy's mother, she became pregnant with twins by another man.
While they were together.
Yes. Yes. And when
Mm.
she decided to abandon the home, Terry kept the twins and was determined to secure a better future for his children.
He kept the twins.
Yes. And
He
raised
kept
them.
them.
Yes.
That's a That's a good man, Savannah.
Yeah.
That's a good
Yeah.
man, Savannah.
Like, I imagined it went down like this. Like, this is in my head. Like, I imagined she, like, went out for, like, one of her benders or whatever, got knocked up, had been gone for a while, knocked on the door and was like, "Hey, baby." And, like, tried to get him back and was, like, pregnant with twins, and he clearly knew they weren't his, and he's like, "Well, I'll still love you." That's how I imagine it went down.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he kept them.
Wow.
That is for a little while.
Oh.
When this all became too much for Terry, having both the twins that were not biologically his and Derek and Alex, he just really couldn't handle it anymore. And he put them in an orphanage. And it was a faith-based orphanage. And the twins were eventually adopted together into a very loving home.
Are
Yes.
orphanages like still a thing?
Well, this is 1990 something.
Because I don't think orphanages, that word just sounds weird coming off my mouth. I don't think those are
Yeah.
like
Are they like group
real.
homes now? Like they're like called group homes or something.
Mm,
Maybe the word orphanage has gone away, but
yeah.
like they still
But group
have
home
group
is
homes.
definitely,
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Yes. But at the time in like 19,
Hmm.
93, yes, they were still probably a thing.
Yeah.
So, although the twins were adopted into a loving home, that is where their story ends here. They have no more involvement with Terry, Derek, or Alex.
Well, I
And,
really appreciate him for doing that. Knowing it was too
exactly.
much for him
Mhm.
and not continuing to like not suffer, but not continuing to like try and hold the weight of grappling like twins
Yeah.
and two boys.
Mhm.
Like I appreciate him for making that
As a
decision.
single parent.
Yes. Hmm.
Yeah. Mhm. With, like, the kids already have abandonment issues because their mother just, like, up and dipped.
How old? And they were like young, right?
So
The
Derek and
twins.
Alex were 5 and 6, and the twins were, like, 1 and 2. Like, they were, like, between 1 and 2.
Well, what's good about that is that they were so young that they probably won't even
Yes.
remember that
Mhm.
abandonment. I mean, but some kids strangely have recollections of like, oh, I remember the day I was born and like can literally recount everything. I mean, I don't know how you know that. I don't even remember the things I did yesterday. So
Oh, wow.
yeah, we're
Let's test
working
their
on it
IQ levels.
yeah, I'm working on it in therapy because my memory is shot. Hmm.
Mm.
Yeah.
Let me know how that goes.
Yeah.
Mhm. Now, the orphanage, unfortunately, did have to find separate foster families for Derek and Alex when the orphanage closed down a year later after the boys entered into it,
Oh, he put
forcing
all
them.
of them in there.
Yes.
I thought it was just the twins.
No, he placed all the boys in the orphanage. Now, his mother and like his brother and like the family members, they were very confused by this. And sources say like his mother was like, "We don't understand why he didn't call us first. Like he just made this decision. He put the boys in this group home, and it was like basically to just kind of get his life back on track. Like he couldn't afford it anymore. He didn't have a home for them. Like he was working these dead end jobs. He had 4 kids. Like it was it was bad. And
Yeah.
honestly, some people commended Terry and they were like, he saw this as the only option.
But
So,
still,
eh,
like depending on the relationship he had with his family, like
mhm,
maybe he didn't have a good relationship or maybe he didn't feel comfortable commit. Like
yeah,
I don't know what their relationship was, what their family dynamic, but yeah. I mean, if they thought it was weird, then they must have had some type of relationship.
right. And they do. And we're going to talk about that. But
Oh,
yes.
okay.
So when the orphanage separated Derek and Alex, this obviously affected the boys' bond with each other. They're separated. Derek was actually placed in a home with his school's principal, Frank Law. So
Oh.
like his school principal like took him in.
Oh.
I know. I was like, as an educator, that's like really sweet.
I've seen so many of those stories like of like
I have to.
teachers with kids in their
Mhm.
classroom going through things like that and they adopt them and just love that.
Oh yeah. 100%. Um
Oh,
oh, I said it. Oh my gosh, I didn't even catch it.
I
Wow.
sure did.
Okay.
Because I've been
Mm.
consciously like, don't say 100%. Don't say 100%. Yeah.
Yeah. Definitely didn't get that. While yes, and so while the principal took in Derek, Alex was actually placed with still in state
Mhm.
facility. So Alex struggled the most with this separation, and eventually he was returned to live with Terry without Derek. However, Terry, his family said, had grown really, really paranoid. And it's because Terry started feeling like he had let his sons down and that he had exposed them to like this big bad world, right? So, because of Terry's growing paranoia, this led him to limit Alex's interactions with the outside world.
So what exactly was he paranoid about?
Just everything. Like, he didn't want his sons exposed to bad things, which would lead to bad behavior. Like, it was his family just said it was very odd. Like, again, Terry never abused them,
Mhm.
but he was just like, if I shelter them in the house, like they can't be exposed to anything bad.
Nah, it's almost worse though.
I agree.
That's worse
From
though.
our perspective, I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
who am I to tell somebody how to parent?
100%. Mhm.
John.
Time
Yeah.
number 347. It's fine.
Yes. Hmm. So, like I said, this led Alex's interactions with the outside world very limited. And it was him basically locking himself up in his room and he just did nothing, like
Mhm.
he didn't really have any exposure to anything because of Terry's extensive protectiveness. Meanwhile, Derek had faced problems in his foster home, including incidents like stealing beer and playing with lighter fluid, and possibly for peer approval and attention. So Derek was kind of going through like his bad phase, I guess, so to
Mhm.
speak, like acting out. Alex is back with our dad. I'm here. I'm in this foster home. Blah blah
So
blah.
he
I have
knew that he
abandonment
was with his
issues.
dad.
Yes, and I think Derek just had abandonment issues and, like, why does Alex get to go back with our dad? Our mom's already left us. Why don't I get to go back with our dad?
Yeah. That makes sense.
And really, it's because his principal, the foster home he was in, was a better fit. Like, Terry didn't make money. I'm so sorry, guys. Turn that off. Terry didn't make like tons of money, and
Mhm.
like this principal could provide a roof, he could provide every meal, he could provide transportation to school, he could provide a good education. Like, so I understand the state's predicament. Alex was with the state's care. So we know that the state's prime goal is to give kids back to their parents. Like,
Yeah.
that's their goal. So when
Mhm.
they saw Alex could do that, they did that. It's harder to then take a kid from a good foster home and place
Yeah.
them back with their parent.
Mhm.
Yeah. But eventually, both boys were returned to live with Terry when he was able to get a home under a lease. So now the boys have a roof over their head. But this further strained Terry's mental state due to the boys now having even more challenging behaviors. And this is where Ricky Chavez, a 40-year-old handyman, entered Terry's life after meeting him at a local flea market. They quickly became friends due to their shared experiences of troubled backgrounds, including Ricky's time in a foster care. So Ricky became relatable. Terry trusted Ricky to initially watch over his sons, Derek and Alex, and he spent a lot of time at Ricky's place. Even the boys. The boys would spend time at Ricky's place after school, where they
Mm.
could watch TV and they could play video games, all things that they were not allowed to do at Terry's house. Ricky also provided financial assistance to Terry when needed. However, Terry started to notice some concerning changes in his sons, particularly Alex, who became increasingly withdrawn and began addressing Terry by his first name. Hmm.
Mm-mm.
Yeah. And
Mm-mm.
they began really acting weird. They began skipping school, and guess where they were going?
To his house.
Ricky's house.
Mm. See,
Yeah.
Skylar knows my first name is Ashley. So like she'll hear her teachers like being like, "Oh, I'm going to Ashley's room." She'll be like, "That's my mom." Like, but she'll be like, "I can call you mommy." She'll be like, "I can call you Ashley." I'm like, "No, you can call me mommy." Always.
Yeah.
Like she know
Forever.
better. She knows better.
Yeah.
But that's not okay. Don't call him Terry. That's your dad.
Exactly. And he's like doing his best.
I mean, he's trying. I mean,
He's trying.
he's got a little paranoia,
Yeah,
wants to shelter you from the world.
exactly.
But also,
But he
what's
is
going on at that house
mm,
that you think it's okay to call your dad by his first name? Like,
exactly.
what is he feeding into your brain?
Mhm.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So, Terry decided that he was going to restrict the boys from spending time with Ricky
Good parenting.
as as a responsible parent would. Hey, I think y'all are spending a little bit too much time over at this 40-year-old man's house.
Yeah,
Like, let's not do that.
let's cut it.
He even took Ricky off the pickup list from the boys' school, stating that he no longer wanted Ricky around his boys. Now, on November 16th, 2001, Terry returned home to discover that Derek and Alex had taken a backpack, clothes, and several knives before leaving the house that day. Terry searched the area for them and contacted the sheriff's department. While he believed the boys had gone to Ricky's house, Ricky denied any involvement, admitting only that Alex had called to say he wouldn't return home. A week later, Derek's former foster family reported seeing him in Pace, which was 18 miles away, prompting a police investigation. Derek disclosed that they had spent several days in the woods and that Alex was still missing.
In the woods.
Uh huh. So, like on November 16th, they skipped school, right? They packed a backpack, they packed clothes, they packed some knives. This is the day that Terry went to the school looking for them, realized they were not there, realized that Ricky was still on the list to pick the boys up from school. So
Oh,
took
so they
Ricky
didn't take him
off the
off the.
list.
Oh,
Yes, so he took Ricky off the list this day. And then he was like, they're still missing. They hadn't returned home. He suspected that the boys were with Ricky. Ricky denied that the boys were with him, but had said, hey, Alex did call me though, and he's not coming home. So that's, yeah, that catches you up. That was November 16th.
but still, if he called you to say that, why wouldn't you hit me up?
Right. We're supposed to be friends, and we're also both adults, and these are children.
Yeah, so even if you feel a type of way that I'm not allowing you to see my children anymore, you know that my son actively contacted you to tell you, look,
Yeah.
I'm not going home. As common courtesy, you call me and you let me
Yeah.
know, no matter how you feel. Because at the end of the day, those are my kids.
Yeah. Not yours. Mine.
Yeah.
100%. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, you did it
So
again.
then on November, oh, man, dang.
Just a tally.
Ah, we're going to have a game. Then on November 25th, 2001, a day before the murder, Ricky informed Terry that Alex had called him from a payphone and he went to pick him up. The boys were apprehensive about Terry's reaction to their runaway attempt, prompting them to devise a plan to avoid Terry's reaction. Okay, the boys ran away on November 16th
Yes.
and returned home on November 25th.
Wow.
Do you really think they were in the woods that long?
Absolutely not. I don't think I don't think they would be able to survive in the woods for that long. I think Ricky is lying. I think they were chilling up in
Mm,
his house the whole time.
yeah,
Yup.
yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah. And
Mhm.
like, again, my son called you. This is the second time he's called you. You went and picked him up, but you still never called me?
Like, what is wrong with
Why?
you?
Like, why?
That's
Yeah.
suspicious.
Uh-huh. I agree.
Cause like, why are you keeping my sons at your house
Mhm.
secretively?
And then they're already thinking like, "Oh my god, we're going to be in so much trouble." And the only way out in their mind is, "Well, we've got to kill our dad."
Wow.
But here's the thing. I'm thinking Ricky knew that he had the boys. He knew Terry was already limiting their time, right? So I this is where my brain's going. And I'm thinking like as he's like, "Guys, it's been a few days, like you really got to go." Like they're going to start like kind of worrying, you know? And he's like, "But your dad's going to be real mad. Like just be prepared. He's going to act like this. We're not going to be able to see each other." There's no telling what this man was saying.
Yeah. But also, I wonder if Terry disclosed to the police that Ricky could have possibly had the children. Cause they're still minors. So
Right.
why wasn't more being done to find them? And why didn't they
Well,
go to Ricky's house first to locate them?
I think that it was because the boys had, just gotten back with Terry, and Terry was like, "God, I don't want them to take them again. I just got them
Mm,
back." Yeah.
but they were gone
So,
for it almost
oh,
10 days.
yeah, they were over a week, and you're
That's
just
crazy.
still going to work
And you're
every
just like,
day.
I hope they show up. Like, I
Yeah,
get it, Terry. I understand your logic. I understand it, but also you have no idea where your children are. And they're supposed to be in your
exactly.
care. So let's say hypothetically someone else finds them out there and they're like, "Oh, where are you supposed to be?" "Well, my dad, Terry." Then you getting thrown under the bus.
Uh huh. Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
Mhm.
So the murder occurred on November 26, 2001, around 1:30 a.m. when a 911 call reported a fire at Terry King's home. Responders received information suggesting a potential death inside the house. Upon arrival, they found Terry lifeless body in a recliner chair, showing signs of trauma unrelated to a fire. Derek and Alex were also missing again, leading to a neighborhood canvass that revealed little information about the King family. During the investigation, Terry's family suggested focusing on Ricky Chavez due to the unusual closeness between a 40-year-old man and two young boys who were not his children.
And it wasn't like a mentoring program either. Like I could see
No.
this was not a mentoring program. This was creepy McCreeperson.
Yeah. And even the family outside of Terry were like, this is weird. Look
Mhm.
at him
So
first.
so I'm guessing the family didn't know that the boys were missing either.
At this point, they did.
Well, now they did, but when they were actually missing, the family was not aware.
I don't think so.
Okay, because I feel like they would have
Yeah.
been like, Ricky,
Yeah. Well, Terry was
because
like,
now they're like,
Ricky.
Ricky,
Yeah.
yeah,
Terry has been like, Ricky.
Ricky,
Yeah.
yeah.
So then the police did decide that they were going to visit Ricky's fortified home. And what I mean by that is Ricky's home had some really, really tall fences, electrical wiring, and a bunch of surveillance cameras. Weird. Ricky. Ricky.
Ricky.
Mm, yeah. Ricky's behavior, such as rushing to the restroom during questioning, raised suspicions. He shared a voicemail from Alex, further fueling police concerns about his relationship with the boys. Ricky also had a secret room in his home where the boys would go to play video games, watch TV, and smoke some marijuana.
You know what this
Yeah.
reminds me of? This reminds me of that TikTok song, Ricky, when I catch you, Ricky, Ricky, when I catch you, Ricky, they're catching you, Ricky.
Yup.
They're catching
Coming
you.
for you, Ricky.
What do you mean a
Hmm.
secret room?
Yeah, a secret room. So
Was it
let's just
soundproof?
say, I don't really know that, but let's just say Terry did come in the home because I can imagine at some point after being questioned by Ricky, like by Terry for multiple days, Ricky's like, just come in already. Look, they're not here, blah, blah, blah.
Mm.
And all the while, they up in this secret room
Wow.
playing video games, smoking some weed.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah. Mm.
Wow. That
Ricky.
is Ricky.
Creepy. Yeah. Just one day later after the murder and the boys had still been missing, Ricky claimed, I found
In your secret room?
them. Right. Hmm. Conversations with Derek and Alex and Ricky only deepened the mystery surrounding the events, leaving unanswered questions in everyone's mind. During questioning, Derek claimed that he and Alex were afraid of Terry's punishment for running away. Derek hinted at potential abuse by Terry, though no evidence ever supported this claim. Terry had demanded. So here's the thing. Here's the abuse that Derek said.
Okay.
Terry demanded to know where they were. He demanded to know their whereabouts, and he had even grabbed Alex's arm while asking where they had been.
That's
That's the abuse
that's
that he's claiming.
and if it's hmm, hmm.
Yeah.
Correct me if I'm wrong. I could be wrong. Abuse is a series of events,
Right.
right? like just one isolated incident is not equivalent to abuse,
Right.
correct?
I would think so.
Right.
Like today, I woke James up and then I got defensive because he was grumpy. So I tried to walk away this morning and he grabbed my arm and pulled me back to give me a kiss. He grabbed my arm. That's not abuse. Like, you know what I mean?
Mm,
Like,
that's not
I
abuse.
couldn't, I just don't, like, when I think of him grabbing his child's arm, hey, where have you been? I've been worried. Come back here.
Yeah. But then I'm thinking, like, if you slap somebody one time, that's still abuse. Like, if you like, pow,
I,
you know?
yes. Yeah.
But still, gripping somebody's arm like that in an event where you were missing and now you
Right.
have been found after X amount of days does not
Yes.
warrant abuse. It is equivalent to your parent being worried about your whereabouts
Mm-hmm.
and wanting to speak to you and give them the information about where you have been
Mm-hmm.
for almost 10 days.
Right. I agree. Yeah. Derek also told police that he waited for Terry to fall asleep in his recliner. Then he began striking him repeatedly with an aluminum baseball bat. He only hit Terry once. Terry made a noise. Derek was scared he was going to wake up and see the boys standing there, so he continued to hit Terry with the baseball bat while Alex witnessed the entire murder. The boys then attempted to conceal the evidence by setting the bat on Terry's bed and setting the bed on fire before leaving the home and fleeing into the woods, where they claim they spent 2 days before Ricky eventually picked them up. Yeah.
Ricky.
Yes. Alex's account of the story confirmed Derek's, with Alex revealing that he had actually been the one to encourage Derek to kill their father. So it was Alex's idea. Both Derek and Alex King were charged as adults for the murder of their father. However, there are always multiple sides to every story. And this is what Derek said in his confession. Quote, Alex suggested I kill my dad. I murdered my dad with an aluminum baseball bat. I set the house on fire from my dad's bedroom. The first story we told police was partially true. The rest was changed to protect Ricky. Rick started talking about what we would say to the police. He told us to say that we killed our dad because he abused us, but that was not true. Unquote.
I hope Ricky in jail.
So let's hear what Ricky had to say about the whole ordeal, and let's better understand his role in the boy's life.
Ciao. No, thank you.
Ooh, buckle up, buckle up. So, police were obviously shocked by what they heard from the boys, and they did feel as though Ricky knew more than he was leading on,
100%.
and that he was somehow involved in this incident, whether he actually committed the murder or whether he encouraged the murder. Ricky was involved. They just felt it,
Yes,
like in their gut,
absolutely.
right? Yeah. So the police ran Ricky's criminal history, and what did they discover? Welp, Ricky was a convicted pedophile.
You don't say.
Hmm.
You don't say.
Hmm.
Hmm, that's weird.
Yeah.
You have a secret room. You're hanging out with these kids. You're giving them
Mm.
marijuana. You're literally kidnapping them
Yeah.
to a certain degree.
You're
Andre,
befriending the dad. You're helping
yep,
the dad out of financial issues.
yep, just
You're
to get
offering
closer
to
to the
pick the
children.
kids up to, yep, you're offering to pick the kids up from school. You're offering to babysit the kids. You're not
Hmm.
married.
How close in proximity did Terry live to Ricky?
It was not far. It wasn't like, I would say probably a few blocks away. Yeah. Hmm. Yeah.
So I'm guessing back then you didn't have to disclose if a sex offender was in your area.
Well, no, I think that you had to be registered. Now, if they, I don't know if they put out like the things they do now, like where you can
Mm,
just look it up. I don't know that
yeah,
it was public knowledge, but he definitely had to register as a sex offender
got you.
because Ricky was convicted in 1984 when he was caught in bed with three runaway boys in a hotel who were all reportedly 13 years old.
3 runaway boys?
Hmm.
Ricky.
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 Ricky was charged and he did plead no contest, meaning like he didn't have to speak on the matter. So he was convicted. And he did have to register as a sex offender. But again, I don't know if like, because I mean, I was so young in the 90s. I don't remember if they like put out information about sex
Mm-hmm.
offenders then. Not really
Yeah, I'm
sure.
not really too sure either.
Yeah. The boys had originally said that Ricky was not involved in the murder of Terry King, but Ricky himself said that the boys had been at his home the whole time after they had killed Terry. Oh, I thought they were in the woods, Ricky. I thought you said that they went to the woods.
Mm.
Huh?
Mm.
Weird. But they were at your house.
Mm. And your house
Yeah.
is in the woods.
Yeah.
Ricky.
Yeah. He told police he had a compartment. A compartment is what he called it. A compartment in his home where the boys were just hiding out. He even discredited Alex when Ricky admitted that the voicemail he had played for police, the one where Alex was like, "Hey, come get us, like we're in the woods, I'm at a payphone, blah blah blah," that one. He admitted to police that voicemail left by Alex was fake and that Ricky had helped him fake it. Yeah, because they're in your secret weird room, your weirdo room,
Your compartment.
your compartment. When I think of a compartment, I think of my glove compartment.
Yeah.
Sir, what you had was a whole room.
A secret room. A secret squirrel room. Where you
That's not a
probably did secret
compartment.
squirrel things in there.
Exactly. Ricky, having the tendencies that he does, admitted that he did like Alex and that he made Alex believe that Alex himself was in love with Ricky. The police, however, needed physical proof of a sexual relationship to be able to charge Ricky with child molestation
Mm-hmm.
or sexual misconduct of a child.
Mm-hmm.
Police, with no proof, could not pursue charges, but they do believe that Ricky had groomed Alex and maybe even Derek too.
Mm.
But there was no evidence to support this either
Dang.
because the boys were defending Ricky.
Because they had been groomed.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Ricky, however, was charged with accessory after the fact and with tampering with evidence.
Yes.
The boys are evidence. The clothes that they were wearing was evidence, and you tampered with all of that. You
You
let
did.
them wash their clothes at your house. You hid
Mm-hmm.
them for 2 days.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure they showered.
Mm-hmm.
Come on now. Mm. And he was also eventually charged with lewd acts against a child after Alex finally admitted that Ricky had in fact molested him. But
Wow.
Alex and Derek were not on track with the truth. They keep changing their stories.
Mm.
The pair also claimed that Ricky had been the one to murder Terry, but told the boys to take the blame since they were younger and would get in less trouble. So the boys keep changing their story.
So that's not credible.
It's not. So
No.
first they were like, our father abused us, blah, blah, blah. We murdered him. He was abusive. And then Derek's like, actually, that's not what happened. Alex wanted me to kill him and he wasn't abusive at all.
Mm-hmm.
And then they're like, oh, wait, rewind that. It was actually Ricky that killed our dad, but
Yeah.
said that we should take the blame.
Yeah.
Oh, we were also in the woods. Oh, but we weren't in the woods. We were actually at Ricky's house.
Mm.
So, like, they just really weren't credible at this point.
Yeah.
So, here comes the trials and the verdicts. In August 2002, Ricky's trial commenced. The defense launched an aggressive attack on Derek and Alex, highlighting the inconsistencies of their statements, which we just talked about. Alex took the stand and was questioned about his feelings towards Ricky. Alex admitted to being in love with Ricky and claimed that Ricky had subjected him to molestation. Once more, the boys both told the court that Ricky had pressured them to confess, promising lighter sentences in return. And I'm sorry, Ricky, you don't have your law degree.
Who are you?
How'd you know they were going to get lighter sentences? How
Because
you know that?
you're a registered pedophile,
Yeah,
not a registered lawyer
right,
or attorney.
right.
Make it make sense, Ricky.
Mm. So, after 5 hours of deliberation, the jury delivered a verdict. of not guilty for Ricky Chavez on the murder charges.
Oh, okay. I was like,
Yes.
mm,
So they do not believe that Ricky went into the home and used the bat and killed Terry.
okay. I don't
They
really
don't believe
believe
that.
that either.
I don't either. Yeah. Derek and Alex were convicted of murder, actually. They were the ones that were convicted of the murder.
And they were
But
charged as adults. Mm,
yes, originally. Yes, they were.
okay.
They were originally
Okay.
charged as adults.
Okay.
But on September 6th, 2002, the judge dismissed the case due to concerns that the boys had not received a fair trial. The case was ultimately resolved through a mediation, with the boys agreeing to plead guilty to third degree murder.
Now, what is the definition of third degree? I know first and second. What is a third?
Let's look that up. That's a great question. John, pause.
Because I feel like first degree is intent. You meant to kill somebody. Second degree is
You didn't intend.
you didn't intend. So what is a third? Because I feel like you did, you didn't, like slash accidental.
Okay. So that's a good question. Third degree murder, sometimes called a crime of passion murder, and informally called third degree murder. This is any intentional killing that involves no prior intent to kill and which was committed under such circumstances that would cause a reasonable person to become emotionally or mentally disturbed.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
So, what they're saying is the boys were so scared of the punishment for running away that they become emotionally disturbed and they're thinking, gotta kill him.
Okay.
Boom, bam. That's the solution.
Mm, got
Yes.
you.
So, they did plead guilty to third degree murder.
As adults? As not adults. Okay.
Oh, yeah. So, Derek King received a sentence of 8 years and was released in March of 2009. While Alex King was sentenced to 7 years and was released in April of 2008.
So they just out and about.
Yes. Yes. The boys were sent to separate juvenile prisons to serve their time, and while there, they were not allowed to contact each other under any circumstances, according to sources.
Okay.
Now, although Ricky Chavez was found not guilty to the murder charges, he was found guilty of false imprisonment of a child
Mm-hmm.
and as an accessory after the fact.
Yes.
But he was acquitted on the child molestation charges. Yeah,
Why?
they had no proof. They said that Alex wasn't credible.
They're
And you
not
hate to
wrong.
do that because if it really did happen, like that sucks for Alex.
Yes.
You
It
know,
definitely
it
does.
really does.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Wow.
Ricky was sentenced to 35 years in prison and is
Okay.
scheduled for release in April of 2036. And I don't, here's my thing.
And he
Here's my
was
thing.
40 something when he did
Yes.
this. So 4, 5, 6,
Mhm.
7. All right. Okay.
Yeah.
So like in his 80s. He'll come out.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think the sentencings were very fair. I don't necessarily think that Derek and Alex should have gotten life. And we say this with most of our cases. Like, but I don't, you know what I mean? Like, I think, okay, here's
At the
why I
end of the
say
day,
that.
you intentionally
You did. You killed your
killed your
dad.
father. I'm not
Yes.
sure what the passion part is in that because this man may have been really strict with you, but there was no sexual abuse, there was no emotional abuse, there was no abuse. He was just an overprotective father who wanted to protect you from the world. You did not
Hmm.
like that. And then you have
Right.
this man on the other hand, Ricky, who's a pedophile,
Hmm.
who is showing you the ways of the world. You want to
Letting
play
you
a
play
video
video
game?
game. Yeah.
You want to smoke some weed?
Hmm.
You want some beer? He probably was beering them up.
Hmm.
So I just don't. The third degree is just really boggling my mind because I
Right.
feel like that night their intention was to kill him.
Mm-hmm.
There was no passion involved. You
Mm-hmm.
were brainwashed by Ricky because you wanted the best of both worlds over there.
Mm-hmm. And I do believe the boys were groomed. I do.
Yes.
I really
Oh,
do. I think that Ricky took advantage of these two boys. I
yes.
I, I
Oh,
fully do.
definitely.
But at the end of the day, the boys did what they did.
They murdered him
Yes.
while he
Their
was
father.
asleep.
Yes. Yes.
8 years, 7 years for
Yes.
killing somebody. And now you just out here
Yeah.
living your life.
Yeah. So I wrote down like this case to me when I was writing it. I was like, God, this has really similarities to the
Menendez. Melendez.
the
Menendez.
Menendez. Yes.
Yeah.
Sorry, I can't use words.
It's
Okay,
okay.
the Menendez brothers.
Yes.
Because I just like saw some weird parallels, and I think that's on our list to cover one day. But like, that's
Probably.
also a very high profile case.
Hmm.
Um, But in this case, the fence was so split. And if you go to Reddit, this case is so split. Like you have those people that are like, they really were abused and they were groomed. I'm not saying that they weren't groomed, people. I understand they were groomed, but I don't believe they were abused.
By
So I
Terry.
think that this by Terry,
Hmm.
by Terry, yes. I think that they had abandonment issues. I think they had trauma. I think they were groomed by Ricky, but I don't think that Terry should have had what happened to him happen to him.
Absolutely agree.
Like,
Hmm.
no.
Yeah.
So it was giving very Menendez brother vibes for me.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, I think that Terry was doing his absolute best. I think that Terry unfortunately was handed a really crappy deal in life. He, had low paying jobs. He was never going to be above lower class. At the time, the house that the boys were living in did not even have electricity. But I think he was doing his best.
Yes.
And his version of his best is not what we think is our best, but he was doing his best.
He was trying.
Yes.
He was trying.
But now, currently, after spending a third of their lives behind bars, the brothers speak about having a more positive future. In 2013, they did an interview where they told the interview people at People magazine that they look to build stable families of their own. Derek said at the age of 25 years old, quote, "I'm trying to figure out what a typical family is." And at the time of the interview, he was working at a restaurant to save money in order to finish college. And he added to the interview saying, quote, "My dream is to have a family."
And his dream is to probably
Yeah.
have one because he didn't really have one.
Have one. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. You got locked up at 13.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Derek also mentioned how much the world had changed once he had got out. And he was like, yeah, I didn't know what Facebook was. I didn't know what social media was. I didn't know what world was post 9/11. So it was a whole different ballgame when he got out.
Yeah.
Derek has not reoffended, and he remains free amongst society with no violations of any kind, and he lives in Florida.
Mm.
Hey, Stephanie?
Look out for him.
Yeah. Alex, on the other hand, found himself not adjusting the way Derek did and was sent back to prison after violating his parole and
Wow.
also leaving the scene of an accident in 2011 on foot. However, the prison high school valedictorian, so he graduated in prison as valedictorian of the prison.
Okay.
Okay, cool. All right. He told People magazine that he loves to study math and microbiology and is very interested in living a simple and quiet life. He was, at the time in 2011, looking forward to serving his time once he had gone back for violating his parole, and he wanted to get out and be with his girlfriend in California. However, now, as an adult, he resides in Texas.
Okay.
Yeah.
What happened to those California dreams?
I don't really know. So,
Mm.
as for their deadbeat mother, she comes back when the
Ah,
boys are on trial.
they always do a
At trial.
wraparound.
At trial. She comes back.
Like, ma'am, you abandoned these children their whole entire lives.
Yeah.
Okay? Why are you coming here for clout? Why are you
Like,
here?
literally what she did.
Like, you're here for clout. You're here to get your name.
I could only imagine what Derek and Alex did when they saw her and they were like,
They were probably like, who are you?
"Right.
Miss
We
Ma'am.
don't know her. She doesn't even go here."
Like, I'm telling you right now, that lady is not my mom.
Yeah. Yes. So their deadbeat mother, Janet Little, or she also likes to go by Kelly Marinaro. She just changes her name all the time.
Okay, marinara.
We don't we don't really know why. She was actually charged 3 years after the boys murdered Terry King with 4 counts of theft by deception, which is a felony. Basically, this woman was trying to cash in the boys' Social Security Administration benefits while they were in prison. Yeah. It amounted up to $13,000. And then she told the press in 2003, while they were on trial, like I said, she did a wraparound. She came back. In 2003, she went to the court for trial. And she was like, I just don't think the boys understand that they're about to go to prison. They think they're just going to a playground.
Ma'am, your playground is the pole. So shut up.
Right.
What?
Mm-hmm.
You abandoned those babies. You
Yeah,
added to this trauma. And now you want to
you
be like,
did.
I don't understand. You don't care. They don't know
Right.
what a playground is because of you. Because you never took
Mm-hmm.
them.
Well, and
Because
that's great. The judge literally said that. The judge was like, maybe you should have taken them to a playground.
instead of dancing on the pole. Granted, no offense out to strippers. Make your money, honey. 100%.
Yeah.
But don't abandon your kids.
Yeah.
Don't
100%.
abandon your kids.
Oh, I just said it.
100%.
Yeah. She also tried to get custody of the boys back in 2003 while they were in jail. And that she claimed she was going to move back to Florida and that she was going to like get custody back. And the grandma was like, no, you're not.
It's a no for me.
Yeah. Yeah. So,
It's a
Mother
no.
of the Year. Good
Great job,
job.
marinara. Great
Yeah,
job.
you did awesome.
You're
Yeah.
doing great,
Yeah.
sweetie. You're not.
No.
You're
Mm-mm.
not. You abandoned those
No.
twins. You abandoned those boys.
Mm-hmm. So what good did come from this, right? That's how we like to kind of end our cases. Well,
Mm,
one, both boys are out in society and they're doing well. They really
okay.
are. They're doing well.
Good for
They
them.
are contributing to society needs
They have
that the
reformed.
best they can. Yes,
Hmm.
the best they can. Also, if I had to say something, there was this person named Dan Daly, a widow retiree from Minneapolis, Minnesota, who became very interested in the King's brothers case. Now, Daly would send the boys money. He would send them books while they were in prison for them to read, and they would study with these books. He was very encouraging. Daly even began exchanging letters with Derek while he was locked up and eventually visited Derek in prison. Now, Daly later initiated a redemption project, which is a program that Daly started to help children who have murdered their parents reintegrate into society after they have served their time in prison.
Wow, that's good.
Yes.
That's a great
Daly
program.
bought I know. Daly bought 80 acres of land in West Texas to form a sanctuary for his organization and these kids, and he called it Estrella Vista. Does that sound right?
Yeah.
Estrella.
E
I'm gonna
S
go
T
with
R E L L A.
yes.
Estrella.
Oh, Estrella Vista. The ranch's goal is to offer kids who have murdered their parents under whatever circumstance, he doesn't question them, a place to live once they have been released from prison. It's a way for them to get back into society. They have like animal therapy because they have like horses and a ranch and they tend to the
Yeah.
ranch and they learn working skills and they just kind
Yeah.
of integrate back into society. So both Derek and Alex ended up living on the ranch for a while after they had served their time in prison.
Wow. I wonder if
And
that's
that
why
is,
Alex is still down there.
you know, it might be.
Maybe he's helping out
Huh.
now.
I would
Oh,
really
that's what I
like
like to
that.
hope. That's what I'm gonna hope
Yeah.
for. I hope that that's what's happening, because that would
Yes.
be great.
If he
That would
was
be great.
contributing, like, paying it forward. Yes.
Yeah, because, like, what better than someone who's literally went through it and
Mhm.
has changed their life around to mentor these kids now coming to Estrella Vista. Um,
Mhm.
that's great. I hope that's what's happening.
Yeah. I do
Yeah.
too.
Mhm.
So, yeah, that is the case of Terry King and his sons.
Wow.
There
Well,
was a lot going on there.
yeah. Ricky,
Mm.
Ricky,
Ricky.
Ricky,
Trademark.
Ricky.
Ricky.
Mm. Wow. Wow. I mean, I would just like to focus on the boys. I mean, I know I talked a lot of SHIT in this episode, but I'm really glad that they have
Mhm.
gotten their lives together. And I really
Yeah.
hope that Alex is helping out with Estrella Vista, because I think that would just be truly great. And I hope that um Daniel got his
Derek.
family. Derek, sorry. I don't know why Daniel was just stuck in my head. My bad. My bad, Derek.
Yeah.
I hope that Derek got his family and is being the father, or giving his family the family that he did not get.
I agree.
Yes.
I agree.
Hmm. I do
And
wish
I
that for them.
think that this also is a case where we talked about it. The frontal lobe is not developed, and people like Ricky can prey on innocent children all the time.
Sure
And
can.
that's what grooming is.
Sure is.
I also think that this does show that reform can happen,
Mhm.
because even though Alex did get sent back to prison, he was in a fender bender. He was on parole, and his fight or flight kicked in, and he ran away from the scene. He didn't do anything wrong. Like, he didn't go out and, like, rob anybody or
Yeah.
do anything else. Like, he
He was
got scared.
honestly probably triggered,
Oh, yeah.
because that's exactly what happened in the house.
Mhm.
Like,
Yeah.
that's exactly what happened. So he may have had, like,
PTSD.
yeah, and just been like, I gotta go. I gotta get out of here, you know?
Right. Right.
So
Mhm.
that's what trauma does. It shows up when you least want it to, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Well, that's the case this week, guys.
Mm. Wow. Okay. Well, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Um, I guess we'll be back on Monday. I think at this
Yeah, we'll
point
be
we should be
back.
back on Monday. I'm trying to figure out. I can't remember what number our happy hour is.
I don't remember either.
Yeah, we're recording so in advance, guys. So a lot of things has happened since you've heard this. So
Mhm.
you'll probably hear them the rate we're going in November.
Yeah.
um,
Oh.
but as always, the bell don't dismiss you.
We do.
So we'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.